We want to turn now to that GMA investigation. Do you know how much information your cell phone is really collecting about you and your location? Our chief business and technology correspondent, Rebecca Jarvis, tried an eye-opening experiment. Rebecca, this could be more than we actually realize.
Yeah, absolutely, Cecilia. Good morning. Nice to see you. And it's so many of us now are carrying a smartphone. It's a top gift this holiday season. And this morning, we're taking a closer look at the vast amounts of information these devices are collecting on us and then sending back to companies like Google.
What if someone or something was tracking your every move? Not just your location on a map, but your mode of transportation, even your elevation. More than half of Americans have Android phones and might be voluntarily agreeing to more than they realize. So, what data is really being collected when you accept Google's terms of service?
These are two new phones. We haven't opened any apps on them. Neither has a SIM card.
We did a demonstration when the weather was warmer to find out. Without connecting either phone to a network or Wi-Fi, we traveled around New York City to see if information was being gathered and how often. From the subway to a bike.
Heading out on a bike ride around 11:15 in the morning.
And finally,
getting into a car. It's about 12:15 and we're heading into Times Square.
Still not connected to any cellular network, I arrive back at ABC and enlist the help of cybersecurity expert Megan Stifel, a former director in the National Security Council at the White House, to see what type of information our phones are collecting, which might be sent back to Google.
We just connected it to our test station.
Connecting our phones to Wi-Fi for the first time, a startling discovery.
This phone doesn't have a SIM card. It wasn't connected to the internet, but it still was collecting all of that information.
Yes, and using all the sensors on the phone to obtain as much information as it can, even though it can't send it anywhere at that time.
And as soon as I connected to the network, it was transmitted back to Google.
Yes.
The Android's operating system tracking my unique device's movement, even identifying the mode of transportation, and at times taking 10 sensor readings per minute.
So at 10:25, it assesses that you were in a rail vehicle. So
on the train.
On the train.
It even knew when the phone was tilting underground.
At 11:16 a.m., what does it say?
On bicycle.
It says I was on a bicycle.
Yes.
Which is what I was doing at 11:16 a.m.
And then you got off and maybe you were walking around a little bit later. So at 12:05 today, what were you doing?
I was in a car.
It says in-road vehicle, in vehicle.
So it knows I was in a car heading uptown to the office.
Right.
When you agree to Google's terms of service, you're agreeing to some types of data sharing. But Stifel says users might not realize how extensive it is.
This is not something that the user necessarily opted into, or if they did opt into it, it was in a fashion that wasn't consistent with their expectations.
Google tells us that in order to provide basic services like security notifications and app updates, smartphones need to communicate with their operating system providers and cellular carriers on a regular basis. Google adds that users can view, manage, or delete the information associated with their Google accounts at any time.
Wow, so seeing you on that bike and them tracking you on that, that's really something. So how valuable is this information to Google?
Cecilia, this is extremely valuable information. And if you think about it, Google's business model, they make the most of their revenue off of advertising sales. And advertising, when they can pinpoint exactly where you are and what you're doing, they can actually direct an ad to you. So imagine you're in a mall, but you're on the second floor of the mall, not the first floor. They can send a push alert to your phone suggesting a store on that second floor instead of the first one because they know you're there.
Wow, really good information. All right, thanks, Rebecca.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.